Hi, I'm Lisa from the Tech Department. Thanks for joining me today. This is a quick little look at what's the deal with coding. And it came by as a result of a question someone asked of me recently for just an overview about coding in general, not down to the nitty-gritty of how to do it, but the what and the where and the how, and most particularly, why. Why are we embedding coding into our curriculum? Well, it comes to you in ways like design thinking, computational thinking, logic, and processing. And so we're going to take a quick look at it today, including some activities that I can bring into your class, or you can go ahead and feel free to borrow as well. So thanks for joining me.
Just like any activity, there's a lot of vocabulary to be learned with coding. One of the activities that I'll often start with in a class is a very simple and standard sort and predict. And there's an example on the screen of a term and the definition that might be scrambled up, and the learners need to unscramble to begin to be familiar with the vocabulary or the jargon of coding. Another simple activity uses this very colorful treasure map to encourage the learners to plot their way around, in this case, this piratical sort of island. I would have them start from the compass rose and then work their way in simple, one step at a time directions to some other place on the map. They soon figure out that there's more than one way to get from point A to point B. For the treasure map activity, they would use simple directions like the ones shown here, which exemplify forward, forward, turn, and etc. till they find their way from where they're starting to where they're going. To make the activity a little bit more challenging, I would give them specific directions. For example, using only these instructions, how can you set your code to get from this point on the map to that point on the map? The cup stack is a great activity that adds a little bit of physicality to your coding. So a small group of learners, one who is sequestered as the robot, are faced with an array of cups, and either they stack themselves or are provided for them. And then they decide how they're going to code their robot or give their other group member who hasn't seen the cup stack array instructions to build an exact replica.
The group of programmers quickly learn that their language has to be clear, concise, and step-by-step broken down into each small piece. If you've ever taught math, you've probably used tangrams. Tangrams are a great device for building and replicating a design or reimagining a new design.
This little character is Codapillar, and Codapillar comes with a variety of codes or programs on his body segments, and however they are assembled by your learners is the path that Codapillar will take. So it can either be random, or with some pre-design, he can be programmed to follow a particular path. Here's a closer look at Codapillar and his parts. So you can see there's go forward, turn right, turn left, and there are other segments that are available as well. Turn 90 degrees, turn 180 degrees, etc.
Here's Codapillar in action.
You can see that as he's moving, each body segment or program lights up to show which command he is following at the time. He is a little bit noisy and it does require a bit of extra space, but it gives the idea of one command equals one movement.
And this brings me to probably my favorite screenless coding activity, Cubetto. This is Cubetto, a little wooden robot that comes with a board, a programming board, and all the blocks you need to make him go on his adventures. Here's a closer look at Cubetto's programming board. You can see the blocks, and they're just starting to be assembled into the playboard. Here I've built a whole line of code, which is going to tell Cubetto to go forward, forward, turn, forward, turn, forward, and turn, etc. When I'm ready to execute this program, I'm going to press the go button, and he's going to go. I'm going to show you that in a sec. But Cubetto also offers the advanced look at how to create a loop or a proc. And down in this section of his programming board, any blocks that are added, and there's only room for 4, and it's intended to be a beginning look at coding. Any blocks that you put in this area with the loop are represented up in the main part of the board by the blue block. So in this example, Cubetto's code is telling him to go turn twice, then go forward, then the blue block again calls down to here, and he follows these 2 sets of instructions, and then he goes forward again, and etc. until he's completed that routine.
You'll notice the blue lights on the playboard. Those all light up when a sequence is complete and ready to be engaged, and each component, as Cubetto is moving, will flash in the playboard to show what he's doing at that time. Cubetto also comes with a variety of playmats, and each playmat has a different storybook that connects Cubetto through literature. And here are all the other books in the series. Cubetto Leaves Earth, Cubetto's Deep Dive, which takes him down under the ocean, Cubetto's Class Trip, where he visits some of the 7 wonders of the world, and then takes a dark turn with Cubetto Gets Lost in the mean streets of his town. I've also created my own Cubetto map, and you're looking at it now. Just simple pictures that I have downloaded from our own SD79 Abed site that show some Hulkaminum art and language. And I thought this would make a neat activity that Cubetto could drive around on this mat, linking up vocabulary words, practicing Hulkaminum. When you and your learners are ready, you can move on to some of the digital coding activities that we have included on your iPads. What you're looking at right now is 3 of our suite of core apps that regard coding. The first one, Swift Playgrounds, this is not available on the older iPads. It will only install on an iOS 10 or later, but it is coming on all the new iPads that we will send out to your school. Tickle will be appearing on some of your iPads as well, and it is something that you would use, you can use it as is on the iPad. It's also used to program Sphero if you're interested in investigating any of those sorts of products. And then finally, Lightbot Hour is on every machine, and it is a really nice block-based drag and drop style of coding to get your learners started on the process of coding on a device.
All right, that's it from me. Thanks for hanging out with me today as I took a quick look at the underpinnings of coding, how to get started, the questions to ask, and I hope you will ask them of me if I can help you. Thanks for tuning in today. See you again.